Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Canadian Retro. I've got my pickups and experience here from the Barrie Game Exchange. It was an awesome show put on by Hodge here on the April the 7th, I believe it was the exact date of that one, and just an amazing show as per usual. And he did say and mentioned a couple of times during the course of just like having conversations with him that there was some hiccups for him setting up. One of the things that happened was it actually changed venues from where it usually was, or more recently was, to a different venue, just because whatever reasons, I'm not even entirely certain. It wasn't a choice of his. I think he got sort of bumped out of the original spot and moved to a different spot. So that was something I'm sure created a little bit of confusion and stress for him, and he managed that with grace and dignity, that's for sure. And as far as and one of the other hiccups I think he had mentioned was that chairs hadn't been delivered when the tables were the night before, and he had to get on that and deal with it. And again, I can't thank him enough for just trying to make sure that everything went so smooth. And from my perspective, it absolutely did. It was an amazing show, and everything went perfectly. Setup was easy, and getting out of there was just as easy, and all that kind of greatness. So I'm going to get into my experience and pickups here though for you guys, so you can just see everything that's going on here. So basically at the start of the show, I was talking to Derek from Two Dorks, and he had gone around and found a deal on some NES sleeves, which he knows I'm after. So he went and found a guy who was selling off some pretty cheaply, and he bought them up and gave them to me. So I didn't even have to pay for these. This is just a hookup basically from Derek. So he got me some. I'm not gonna hold them all up, but basically he got me like 16 sleeves altogether. Some are Nintendo branded, some aren't, but still really cool right there. And again, thank you so much. He didn't, when I asked him what he wanted for him, he just basically gave them to me no charge. So I appreciate that, because you didn't have to do that in the slightest. Also, when you take a look at the footage that you're gonna see here pretty shortly, he took all that footage too, and he just graciously sent it my way. So I can't thank Derek enough for all his help with A, this video, and B, just at the Barrie Game Exchange, because his wife Cynthia really helped me out as well. She sort of watched my table while I was out, and actually she probably did more sales than I did, so perhaps I should get her and hire her to man my table basically all the time, because she was doing more sales during the show than I was, that's for sure. But that being said, it was a very lucrative show for me. I was able to replenish the video game hunting fund, which is really nice to be able to do that, and that's really part of the reason for me going there. The other part is to meet up with all the wonderful Cartridge Club members and members that aren't, but familiar faces that are there in Barrie. And it's really not just about selling the games, it's about the experience and meeting up with all those people. But that being said, I'm going to get into the next couple parts, which are a couple of games that I did buy. One of the games that I bought here was Plants vs. Zombies on the Xbox 360. If you remember my Game X video, Logan was looking for this, so I ended up buying this for him. He's been playing it on the 360, which is why it's not in there right now. It's in the Xbox downstairs in the living room. So yeah, he's been playing that and thoroughly enjoying it, so that's really cool. And this one here, this version here, has a couple of games I really enjoyed in the past, and that's Peggle and Zuma, a couple of puzzle games, little guilty pleasures on there, and they're included in that pack as well, which is really nice. And then the other game that I picked up here was something that's not super fancy by any stretch of the imagination, nothing that is uber rare or even expensive, and I paid $5 for it, and that's David Robinson's Supreme Court, which I have a loose copy of this game, which isn't really in the greatest shape, so I wanted to get the physical copy of this game if you've never played it before. Funny story with this particular game, I gave this to my brother on for Christmas one year, like back in the 90s, when this, when the Sega was out, kind of thing. It was my Sega Genesis. I bought it with my own money, but I was buying games for it and bought this for my brother, and I probably beat this, like a season of this, before I actually gave it to him for Christmas. So a little bit of an inside scoop there. This is why it's so important to me to just remember doing that. So he ended up basically getting a used game. I was giving it to him as new. If he watches this, I hope you never figured that one out until now. But that's why I really wanted to get a complete copy of that, because just the memories of that makes me laugh to think that I did that. But that being said, I'm going to get to the footage here. I hope you enjoy. Before I jump into my final thoughts here, I thought I'd show you a little something that is really near and dear to my heart. You guys know it if you follow my channel or you pay attention to the live streams in November, the 25-hour Extralife, marathon, basically, 25 hours raising money for sick kids hospitals. I really enjoy doing that, and I really am happy to spend the time and spend the effort into making sure that money is raised for that cause. And while I was in Barrie, they had a table actually set up. The Extralife Toronto Guild had a table set up, and so I popped in, obviously, because I'm a huge supporter, and I like to chat Extralife with people. So I walked over and I gave them a $10 donation because they actually had something there. They're giving away like little giveaways or whatever if you donated. So I gave the guy $10 that I had, and he hooked me up with a bunch of different pins here. So pretty cool. I don't know if I'm gonna get too much detail on that, but pretty nice here. All Extralife, obviously, stuff, but you can see that right there. And here as well. Pretty cool. Kind of like this one just because it's like shaped. It's the, get the focus going on. It's the logo there. It's hard to see, I'm sure. But the most impressive thing, and I've been using them for D&D sessions when I've been playing with Emceemur. We've been recording them through Google Hangouts, but we haven't been broadcasting them yet. One thing to mention as far as that goes, ideally the footage from those are going to be uploaded on my AD&D second edition channel, which I'll put a link down below to that. I started that up for my Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing, keep it separate from my video game stuff. If you're interested in that, go over there, sub to that and everything else. But I wanted to show these because I am like super pumped about this. These are going to be like my go-to D6s now when I'm playing D&D, that's for sure. And it's got like, you know, it's a blue dice, so it's like in that sort of theme and color scheme of Extralife. But if you take a look at the 6 right there, it's the Extralife logo, and I'm super pumped on these because I'm gonna get some real use out of them, and obviously like I'm pumped on Extralife. So here you go, and I ended up getting 3 of these. I can't really, it's hard for me to show them all at the same time, but I ended up getting 3 of these, and I'm gonna be able to use those in my session. So really enjoying these dice, and I wanted to again just let you know my my donation for Extralife page is open right now. So if you go down below, you can click on that if you want to get in on like early donation kind of thing. Still trying to figure out like giveaways and all that kind of thing this year, because I really do want to pump up, you know, the support for it. Last year we raised $500, and I want to exceed that this year. So let's see what we can do, and let's raise some money for sick kids. That being said, let's get back into my final thoughts here on. So as you can see from the footage, there was some pretty amazing things going on there. That was basically footage of like the setup, so there wasn't a lot of people there yet, so I don't think that was like a comment on the show as far as like the number of people there. I think it was like the best or one of the best shows that they've had as far as attendance goes. And it's hard to tell when you're in there because it's such a great open space when they do that in the hockey rink that way. So really kind of nice all around for that. That being said, I just want to thank Hodge again for a great show, and of course I'm going to be at the next one. I don't know if I'll be vending at the next one unless I find some pretty amazing stuff to sell again. But that's everything I got for you this time around. Thanks again for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do check out the Barrie Game Exchange. I'll put links down below, and I'll put the links down to Derek of Two Dorks channel as well for helping me out so much with all of this. And I will see you all later.